Welcome back to the 2013 ABL crossover preseason program. We're going to shift gears now and hear from some of the ABL team owners. Caroline and I are delighted to have with us, starting here right on my immediate right, Connor Wynn, the co-owner and general manager of the Saigon Heat. We have Dato Wira, the president of Westport Malaysia Dragons, and we have Handy Sotejo, the owner of the Indonesia Warriors. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
Handy, first question for you. You know, the Indonesia Warriors, you came close in 2010, but then you busted through in 2012 and won the ABL championship. The season started a little slow for you guys. Can you tell us about some of the changes you made along the way and what the differences were in that championship season?
Well, initially, as you said, that we started very slow. The management and us is very kind of disappointed with what happened. Then we said that we have to change the roster. Then the coaches and the management, we said that then we put the additional and changed the roster from Mario Wisang, we moved him a bit, then put Stanley Pringle, we put the additional Steve Thomas there, then we put Evan Brock in it. It works, right? Everything works very well. We were happy. Then the strategy of the coaches moving very well. The direction from the owners is actually there. Then all the spirit, all the strategy, all the mind, the blood, the tears, everything is there. So yes, we are.
You also had a good contribution from some local players, Mario Wasong, the Indonesian, and then also the Filipino, Jared Cañada.
Yes, and the additional of Arki and Dodo was also very helpful. Dodo was very playing very good in a way that he shot some good three-pointers. Amin got his confidence back. Then yeah, we were there.
Well, of course, Bahani, as we can say that you said that Indonesia Warriors was coming really slow in the very beginning of the season. But then as you saw the import players was changing, you saw that the local players, you know, they got more intense, more passionate, and even, you know, they're more braver on the court.
Right.
So what do you think about season 2013? Are you going to focus more on the local players? So whoever is going to come for the import players, they're going to be ready.
Yes. The what do you call it? Dodo will stay with us.
Okay.
He used to play in NBL, the National Basketball League of Indonesia, but he's going to move and then to play for us in ABL. Mario will stay. Amin will stay. We put additional Donny, Arya, and Indra. Steve Thomas and Stanley will be there. Additional of the U.S. players is there, Chris Daniels. And maybe another Filipino, Jerry Canada, is also be there. So we got our team set up now, and we're ready to season 4.
All right, so 2013, Indonesia Warriors is on fire, Sean.
Looking very powerful, looking very powerful. Now, Dato Wira, slightly different experience for the Malaysia Dragons. You guys came very close.
Very, very close,
semifinals. But, you know, one of the things we took away from the Malaysia Dragons, the contribution of the local players. You got some very good Malaysian talent on that team.
Yeah, you know, I'm happy to say that, you know, the locals have been growing more and more in confidence. So since we started the ABL, I think the first year we were still a bit shaky. Wasn't sure where we could play well and how to play against the other teams in the ABL. But now that we're getting to season 4, I'm pretty confident the locals will step up again. You know, we've got a strong bench. Again, I'm not too sure at this stage who we bring in as our imports. We leave that to our coach, and you know, he did very well last season. Came out of the starting blocks very fast. Unfortunately, we got hit by a lot of injuries last year.
Right.
And we made the mistake in, I think it was season 2, where we were very impatient with the imports, so we decided to change halfway through the season. And that didn't work out well for us. So last year we decided to stick with the same team throughout the same roster throughout the whole season.
Right.
And we did pretty well. So I'm happy with the team's results and performance.
Have you figured out the center spot? Because, of course, Brian Williams, who was your center last year, he has gone to the San Miguel Beermen.
As usual, we get our players hijacked by everybody. It's great because within the league, we're happy to see Brian back within the league. He's a great player. Like I said, we leave it to coach, whatever he decides, and I think he's decided and found a suitable replacement. And we look forward to going up against Brian and San Miguel.
Of course, because it was a close call.
We're always, just that little, we miss it out by just that little bit. I think, every season we're there or thereabouts, but never actually make it to get past that threshold. Hopefully it's this year, we'll see.
Of course.
But yeah, like I said, we're happy where we are. Basketball in Malaysia has improved tremendously. I think Philippines, even Singapore and Indonesia all had a huge start in the beginning of the before the ABL came about, and I think we've done pretty well, and we're always there or thereabouts fighting for the title. So we're happy.
And the Saigon Heat did not go to the playoffs. However, a big second half season turnaround is really the story of the ABL season in 2012, Connor. Jason Robideau taking over after that 0-7 start, and the Heat poured it on in the second half of that season.
Yeah, I think we made a lot of progress in the second half of the season. It being our first season, a lot of learnings at every level for the ownership, for the management, for the coaching staff, for the players. And certainly Coach Robideau was at the center, making that switch there, really helped the team, brought his leadership, his experience. Our former coach, Rob Newson, quality coach too, just looking for someone with a little bit more experience. But additionally from that, we had to make some changes to the roster, make sure that we were emphasizing a team-oriented game. And then it was just a matter of getting a couple of wins and getting the players to start believing that they belonged also.
And of course, you have a mad fan base in Ho Chi Minh City. I was stunned the first time I called a game there, just how passionate the fans are. Now, how did you and your co-owner Henry Nguyen decide that with Vietnam having very little basketball history, that the Saigon Heat were going to be a hit in Vietnam?
Well, we had a hunch, but we weren't really sure. So we were actually rather pleasantly surprised the reception. But what we did know was that Vietnamese people as a whole are very passionate people. And we placed a lot of emphasis, when I say the team, I mean not just the basketball team, but our business development, our marketing team, to invest in an entertainment experience for our fans. And so I think that combined with the passion of the people and then a pent-up demand is why we had such a welcome reception.
Well, I think we can agree the in-game
Yeah.
presentation was crazy.
Like Connor, you have the socialites, you have the Vietnamese idol, you have the celebrities, actors, actresses. Everyone was there. And of course, Maba Stadium. You cannot forget about Maba, right? Whenever you're there, they are the sixth men. I'm even scared to even shout out any other teams, So what about Maba and then of course Saigon Heat, Indonesia Warriors? Are you ready to also lead the crowd to be as hyped as Saigon Heat and Malaysia Dragons? Miss Sandy, first you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indonesia Warriors.
Well, yes, I don't know. We talk about it between Connors and us.
Right.
How we going to promote this ABL more to the fans in a way that we can not just gather more fans, but make basketball more popular in our countries.
Right.
Now, in Indonesia, which is so-called probably a bigger fans than in Vietnam, I kind of envy them. I mean, we can do better than that.
We have to learn a lot from Dato and Connor and Miss Sandy.
That's right. I mean, they did a very good job. Yeah.
Right. And of course, if you go to Maba Stadium, the person that you would focus on is Dato Wira. Right? We have to say you're one of the most fashionable person on the league. You're like the Mark Cuban of NBA. What do you think about that, Dato?
Oh, well, I don't know where you guys get that from. I mean, you know,
We have footages though.
no, I'm not in my tracksuit with my Malaysia Dragons top, so I don't know how fashionable that is. But you know, thank you anyway for the compliment. I think, but going back to the stadium, I think I can't say enough for the fans in Malaysia. I think we're lucky in the sense that we have a small stadium, so it feels like there's more people inside, and the noise reverberates around the stadium a lot more. I think, you know, every team that I've spoken to says that when we play in Maba, it's a madhouse, and you know, the atmosphere there is crazy. And I think, you know, we're lucky to have that in Malaysia, in the sense that it used to be a Chinese-dominated sport in Malaysia, where 90-95% of the fans would be Chinese as well. We've sort of turned that around so that you know, it's very balanced. It's about 33% over the Chinese, the Indians, and the Malays. And the amount of noise in there. Sometimes, you know, I'm sitting on the bench. Sometimes I can't even hear what the coach is saying, you know, in the timeouts. So I don't know how he does it, but you know, the message gets across, and I think everybody's happy to play in that kind of atmosphere, even the visiting team.
I think the in-game presentation, you know, very important. You know, to get the fans fired up. You know, going to these, you know, 3 venues, we see rappers before the game. You know, in Vietnam, you actually had a flash mob, or so my kids tell me. You know, but you know, it was very unique in 2012.
Yeah, I think for 2013, we'll look to bring everything up to the next level, and then we'll have a few surprises along the way too.
Are you sensing a little competitiveness amongst these 3?
Well, it's still positive though. You can feel the positiveness in the room right now, Sean.
All right, well, Handy, Dato, Wira, Connor, thank you very much. We look forward to the 2013 season for the defending champion Indonesia Warriors, Westport Malaysia Dragons, and Saigon Heat. All right, when we come back, we will hear from the ABL coaches. You're watching the 2013 ABL crossover preseason program.